All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Logic Repair and Recovery. We were looking at this guy yesterday. A little bit of water damage, previous repair done by another shop with the long screw damage. So I did touch base with the owner. They gave me the go-ahead to go and strip this down and see if I can't get these lines going and get the phone to boot. So today I'm going to do some scraping. Should probably actually get rid of this. Let's solder off of there, so I'm just going to put a little bit of flux on there. Sorry, bumped the camera. Alright, I'm actually going to pull this shield. I have a suspicion that it pulled up the ground plane. So I want to get this shield out of the way, just at least so that I can kind of see what's going on. And when I do scrape back, I can make sure that I get all the way back on the line. So again, air at about 380, 393 and a half or 4 for the air speed. And yeah, I'm just gonna start heating this bad boy up. This mat sucks so bad. I have a silicone one coming pretty soon here that's hopefully not gonna bubble up as bad as this one does. So just use the drop method here, and we're just kind of hold it above the work surface and just wait for the heat to kind of get everywhere. This is the cover for the CPU, so you don't want to use excessive heat. You just want to heat it up until it kind of drops. Come on. There, I can feel it. It's coming. There it is. All right. Now that it's still warm. There we go. Cool. Now I got most of that crap off. It's a scrapey time. Oh, scrapey. Yeah, so you can tell this is pretty deep. It's not, I mean, it's not spongy around it. It's a little bit spongy right here. So basically what happens is as you put a screw into the anchor, it'll go down and actually hit the surface of the board. It's going to do one of two things, or it could actually do both. It might actually hit the bottom of the board and dig a hole into it, and or it'll actually lift up the anchor. So both are terrible. Let's say if it drills a hole into the board, we're talking about penetrating the plane, the ground plane, into these data lines and these power lines. So that's obviously going to cause a short. The other thing is it'll actually pull up on the anchor and separate these two. Yeah, so usually you can tell just by kind of poking at it with your tweezers and just to see if this top layer kind of moves a little bit. There's a tiny bit of sponginess right beside where the screw actually hit the top of the board. So we're gonna have to dig down here a little bit and just kind of, I mean, there's a possibility that I could actually remove this ground plane and it will free up some of the problems that's going on here. So I need a sharper knife. Let's grab my file. Why don't I use razor blades? I don't know. Because I can't sharpen a razor blade. Definitely sharpen this. This is actually one side of a broken tweezer that I sharpened real nice. And it actually works really good for when you're doing like audio ICs or touch ICs. And you need to scrape back the for the traces that have been pulled. This guy seems to work really well for getting in there and scraping away all of this stuff. There we go, starting to make our way through that first protective layer here. I'm sure if I was using a razor blade, it would probably go a lot quicker. But I just keep sharpening this one because I'm lazy. And razor blades cost money, and this thing was free. I don't know. I mean, it was the cost of a pair of crappy tweezers. Maybe that's why it keeps going dull, because they're crap tweezers. This thing does suck. I need a razor blade so badly. There we go. Start to get some stuff up here. Very nice. Now I'm starting to see some lines there. You're going to want to be extra careful at this point. I don't want to cause more damage, because I'm here to fix damage, not to cause damage. This was already an attempt, or a repair attempt, so I don't want to have a second attempt go wrong in this guy. Yeah, so you can start to see the lines exposed here. All I'm doing is scraping away this ground plane so that I can make sure that it's not pushed down into these LCD lines and stuff. So this was a no image, previous repaired at a local shop. And apparently they couldn't fix it because it was water damage. It had nothing to do with the screw that they shoved through the ground plane. Nothing to do with it at all. Or what they should do, once I fix it, you would think they'd actually go after the company that broke their phone, you know, like send them the invoice. I mean, it's not going to make me the most popular guy, but I don't work for those guys. I work for myself. So being extra careful here. This actually looks like it's just going to be a cleaning. None of these lines actually look damaged at all. So now I'm actually going to expose as much as I can of these lines so that I can get my multimeter on there. And then I'm going to do diode mode readings on the line to make sure they're not open. A little Sharpie, Sharpie, Sharpie. This is looking pretty good. I don't think, because everything else is solid, I'm not going to pick away too much further. I can kind of tell just by the way that these look how they're not moving at all, and there's no breaks in the line or anything. I'm pretty sure just removing the ground plane is going to fix this guy. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. You can see all of the lines that run underneath there and how much issues long screw damage can cause. I mean, you would think with the way that phones are manufactured, Apple in this case would have a little bit of forethought as far as the repairability of their devices, using screws of different length all in the same spot on a shield with board mounted anchors. I mean, this was gonna happen. Unless you're, you know, a vet of 10 years or whatever, you're not really going to understand what it means to actually map your screws properly and the effects that it can have if you don't. So this is what happens. You have a phone with no display and you're not going to know why. Stuff like this kind of kicks you in the butt. I mean, if you don't have a good idea of how to test this stuff, or what happens when you know, long screw damage a phone, you don't know how to test it, you don't know how to fix it, you start pointing your fingers at things like water damage. And we all know that this is not water damage. I've had a really good look at this board. I do have an ultrasonic cleaner that I can run all this stuff through. But I mean, look at this board. It's perfect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's no reason why this phone should have went into a shop that is reputable at all and not left working, water damaged or not. You know, I don't typically work on water damaged phones for anything but data, but at the same time, I mean, you got to look at these things. That's my flux from yesterday. You got to have a look at these things realistically before you actually do the repair. You got to inspect them, you know, like after you've been doing repairs for so long, you can typically look at something and, you know, the state of the water damage and figure out how fixable it actually is. Some cases you can brush a little bit of corrosion off and send things on their way. Like a lot of the techs know that this guy right there, he just goes short. He is a pull down or pull up resistor on a ground line. So, and it's really close to the edge of the board, so a little bit of liquid gets in there, it goes short. I mean, a lot of guys know this. A lot of times you can just pop this guy off and away you go. But the less experienced techs aren't going to know this. And the ones that actually charge for their assessment, when they improperly assess things and then they charge people when they can't fix them, that's a ridiculous practice. It doesn't allow for sustainability. A lot of the times too, when you sign things in and you have them assessed at these chain repair shops, not only will they charge you, they'll say it's unrepairable and they can't even tell you why. So yeah, watch your screw mapping. So I got my multimeter on diode mode reading. I got my positive on ground, and I'm just going to go ahead and start probing these things here and make sure that they're good. 6.1, a little high, but that's good. 5.9, that's good. 5.96, that's good. Ooh. That guy's 0, but I'm pretty sure he's actually a ground line. So 4.7, 4.6, 0. Okay. So this is going to be a fixed phone. All diode mode readings come out good. So there's no reason why this guy shouldn't actually just boot up and go. So yeah, so thanks for following me here. I wish we could have got in and actually ran some jumpers on this guy, but it is not necessary in this situation at least. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this and get it sent off to the owner as a repaired long screw damage. So actually, why don't we do this whilst I still have you here. Anybody ever used solder mask before? I love this stuff. It's my favorite. Not like anybody's going to be in here in the future. Probably should have cleaned that flex off, but that's all right. We're not going to go put this screw back in, because that's kind of pointless in this case. It is a missing anchor. I'm not putting it back in place. I am not, there's no need for a fourth anchor on that guy. So we'll cure this thing. Ah, yes. Oh, yes. There's something about curing UV mask. I don't know what it is. I've been DJing on the weekend for like 10 years. And for me, it seems like packing up all my stuff at the end of my show is always the best thing. Because you know, like, the night's over. Same with like solder mask. I'm gonna turn off the light here and see if it looks cool or anything like that. Ooh. Yeah, right. Yeah, so putting on solder mask is like the end of the job, you know, when you're putting on solder mask, that it's coming to an end and all your miseries are over. So let's have a look and see if this is cured yet. If you guys aren't using solder mask, you got to get some of that for yourself. It's not even cured yet. Maybe get yourself a non-China brand light that actually works. Oh yeah, no jumpers, at least not on this one. I do like my jumpers. I do like my audio IC jumpers. Do like my touch IC jumpers. It's just good. It's just good time. Good time. Good time. cool. That's all cured. All right, so this is a done repair. I'm just gonna clean it up with some ISO, and yeah, put my stamp of approval. I'll probably throw this shield back on. I mean, it's probably not necessary, but just to look more legit, I'll go ahead and put this back in. But yeah, this one's good to go. Thanks for watching. Again, it's Aiden from Logic Repair and Recovery, Calgary, Alberta. Email info@logicrepair.ca, website www.logicrepair.ca. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, shoot me a message, leave a comment, and yeah, have a fantastic day.